Hi. Do you have things to say about what's happening nowadays? We're looking for new faces. Are you willing to do a long interview on YouTube so that maybe you can better understand the folks you disagree with? I know I am. We're going to do 22 interviews in 22 cities in 22 days. If you're up to it, get in touch. We should talk. For 2 weeks now, we've been in a new city each day and interviewed 12 more people. Here's a preview. It's okay to punch a Nazi, so you know what? Let's beat up on Trump supporters.
Right.
What do you think of that?
Well, and I see it on both sides, because I have those Trump supporters coming at me hard, making things up, that they assume they call me a snowflake, that I don't have a job, that I'm living off the government, that I litter every time I do my activism projects. So it goes both ways.
Brown people getting pulled over for driving while brown, right? Stop and frisk in New York City being almost exclusively employed on brown people. That's not necessarily racism on the part of an individual person. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's just, this is the culture, this is of the institution.
But I never watched a Hillary Clinton speech. I don't think more than 30 seconds. And yet I voted for her because I believed in the ideals that she had as opposed to the ideals that Trump had.
But what you're doing sounds very empowering. Do you ever get pushback from people who are like, traditional first wave feminists?
Most of what I get, and I feel very lucky for this, I feel very blessed that most of what I get is, hey, do you teach?
You stated that the Democrats are exploiting these voters. Well, I can personally go door to door in Ogden registering in the Latino neighborhoods. I can't guarantee they're going to vote Democratic because they're anti-abortion, and that's very important. And a lot of people will not vote for a Democratic candidate because of that stance.
From the Mexican side, I don't really have that big of a problem. Good men with good families and good values. They have not caused one terrorist attack on this country, not one. Okay, so the problem for me is not right there.
There's education and then there's education.
Yeah, because it's the same in healthcare. Why do we have to have a vice president of this and 16 heads of this? I just need nurses, doctors, and therapists.
As I've watched charter schools weasel their way in, and I'm not entirely opposed to them, but I'm seeing that it's creating another divide where it's getting back to segregated schools.
So if you can imagine what you want, then work towards it. That's what I say.
And that I can admire that.
Yeah.
And especially because sometimes it works. Sometimes you're absolutely right.
It doesn't even matter whether it works or not. The important thing is that that's your philosophy and you just do it.
Okay.
Because it's the right thing to do for your fellow man and woman and your planet.
I love this country, I really do. I feel like there's some areas that we can improve, but I also feel like that's why people want to come here, because we are more accepting.
A lot of people say that he's a businessman and I want the country to be run like a business, and I always had a problem with that because a country isn't a business.
For me, it's about equality and compassion. And oftentimes it seems like nationalism anywhere is about fear and protection.
We'll be on the road for 1 more week, so there's only enough time to put together these short previews. But the full interviews are coming soon. I hope you can see that this series isn't about changing anyone's mind or making them look bad, but just to get a feel for where they're coming from. And I hope you join us by subscribing to the channel and liking the videos. Thanks.